Thank you. 12. That's how many times J.K. Rowling was rejected before a publisher finally said yes to a story that would eventually become a global success. Harry Potter. At the time, she wasn't at all the celebrated author that we all know today. At the time, actually, she was a single struggling mother living on a welfare, facing rejection after rejection and wondering if one day her dream would eventually become true. How does someone go from what many of us would call failure, I mean, being rejected so many times, to the kind of success that inspires millions? But the deeper question behind is, what can we learn from this experience? I mean, as students like us facing so many times, many kinds of rejection. Today, I want to talk with you about 2 key ingredients that transform J.K. Rowling. 2 ingredients that can do the same for you. They are what transform her failure into success, her setbacks into stepping stone. The power of the mindset and the right attitude. To truly understand the power of mindset, let's go back to the groundbreaking work of the psychologist Carol Dweck. In 2012, Carol Dweck introduced 2 ideas that changed everything: the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. She discovered that the people with a fixed mindset see their abilities are set in stone. They avoid challenges because failure feels like a judgment about who they are, not about what they are doing. On the other hand, people with a growth mindset embrace challenges because it helps them to become better and learn. So, this shift in perspective is really important, especially for students like us facing the pressure of academic and career success. Dweck's research shows that when we start adopting a growth mindset, we become more open to challenge and we develop a deeper love for learning. So, maybe you're thinking, okay, well, but how can I apply this to my own life? Well, there is a single piece of advice from Carol Dweck herself. Whenever you're facing a challenging situation and your mind starts saying, I can do this, add one small but powerful word at the end of your sentence. The word yet. The word yet changed everything. It takes that idea of I'm done and transform it into I'm not that here, but I will be. And by shifting your mindset, you start opening yourself to challenge, and you don't see failure as a failure yet, but more as an opportunity to learn and grow. So, next time you're facing a challenge or you feel like you're failing, remember, you're not failing. You're just not there yet. So, let's imagine, for example, instead of saying, I can't lift that weight, say, I can't lift that weight yet. Instead of thinking, I'm not getting good grades, say, I'm not getting good grades yet. See the difference? It's no longer about failure, it's about growth. But even if Dweck's research emphasized the importance of having a growth mindset, just having the growth mindset itself is not enough. Actually, having a growth mindset is like having a car. You need fuel to make it move. And the fuel to make your thought into action is your attitude. Let's take an example. Imagine 2 students, both facing the same academic challenge. They both have a growth mindset, so they both believe that with some effort and dedication, they can improve. But the way they are approaching the challenge, their attitude, that's where the things start to differ. The first student might say, I know I can improve, but I'm not just good enough right now. Or, this is too hard, I should do something easier. They let the negative attitude take over, and before long, they start procrastinating, feel overwhelmed, or maybe even give up because of the negative attitude. On the other hand, if we take a look at the other students, they also have a growth mindset, but the attitude is different. Now, instead of thinking, I'm not good enough, they might say, I didn't do as well as I wanted, but now I know where I need to improve. Or it's okay if I don't understand everything at once. I will give myself time to understand and I will ask if I need help. They use that positive attitude to drive them forward, and before long, failure is not the end, but a part of the journey towards success. So, next time you're facing a challenging situation, don't just ask yourself what you can learn, but how your attitude is shaping your response. In his book, Attitude is Everything, Jeff Keller talks about the importance of having a right attitude toward the situation we face. He reminds us that it's just not about believing in ourselves, but also about pairing our growth mindset with the right attitude. When we shift our attitude and we start adopting a positive attitude, we see opportunities when others see obstacles. Mindset is what you believe about yourself and the world, but your attitude is what transforms your belief into action. Let me tell you a personal story about how failure was a part of my success. When I was a kid, I used to play rugby for many years. But if you take a look at my physique today, you will probably guess that I stopped a long time ago. I remember there was one thing that I was the most afraid of: physical contact. So as you can imagine, I would avoid scrums, tackles, and pretty much the whole game itself. I remember the biggest tournament in our region. All the city fields were taken up. You could smell fries and sausages everywhere, and you could hear the sound of the parents cheering to the kids. At the end of this tournament, each kid received a diploma to reward their dedication during the year and to reward their abilities on the field. So, while my teammates received titles like Best Tackler or Best Passer, I was secretly hoping, maybe a bit naively, for an honorary diploma. And then, I remember the exact moment when I received mine. My coach approached me, smiled, and before she gave me my diploma, she said, "Try to stay less in the cloud next season." I was a little bit surprised, so I took a look at this paper now in my hands. I had just received the Best Dreamer diploma. You can't imagine how bad I was embarrassed at this moment. I felt humiliated, mocked, or at least that was the 7-year-old me thought at this time. From that single piece of paper, I started making a judgment about myself that seemed obvious. I was weak, incapable of overcoming my own fears. And the more I look at that diploma, the more I convinced myself that I was a failure, even beyond the rugby field. That piece of paper had planted my first limiting belief, my first fixed mindset. So, at 14, when I was old enough to make my own decision, I quit rugby and turned it to other sports like track and field. But a few years later, I found that diploma again buried in the drawer of my bedroom. Without thinking about it too much, I hung it up in front of my bed. But I didn't know that this single act would change my entire life. Because you see, every day as I woke up, that Best Dreamer diploma stared at me. And every day I asked myself the same question. How could a coach crush a kid's self-confidence like that? But then one day, a different question crossed my mind. What if I stop letting this diploma define me? What if I choose to see it differently? What if, in fact, this coach had seen something in me that I didn't even realize? What if, instead of seeing this diploma as a failure, I saw it as a sign that I could dream bigger than anyone else? That day, I changed my perspective. I was born to dream big. And that day, I let go of my fixed mindset and I started embracing a growth mindset. But there was one thing left to do: adopting the right attitude. So from that day on, I started to learn how to spot opportunities and, most importantly, to seize them. Each day brought new challenges, new opportunities to learn and become better. So by shifting my mindset and adopting the right attitude, in 2014, in less than 12 months, I achieved 3 of my biggest dreams. The first one was to create a student association, energize campus life, and organizing food distribution for over 600 students in need. The second was to embark on a 5-week humanitarian mission in Ghana, helping to educate kids in local schools. And the third is to live my Erasmus life here with you and giving a conference in English, a language that I was afraid of 5 months ago. So, if I can leave you today with one message, just one thing to remember, it's this. We all receive our best dreamer diploma at some point in our life. It can take a sneaky shape that makes us question our safe, our ability, our worth. It could be a harsh word from a teacher, a critical remark for a friend, but just even a bad grade. But here is the thing. These diplomas are not meant to define us. It's not about what happened to you. It's about how you choose to respond. And the key to that response lies in 2 key ingredients: embracing a growth mindset and adopting the right attitude. Thank you.